Hi there, and welcome to the channel. My name is Moshe Karen, and in today's tutorial, we'll be going over pipe networks in AutoCAD Civil 3D. The topics that we'll be exploring and covering in this video will consist of the following: setting your pipe network catalog, better understanding parts lists, and how to add various part sizes. And by the end of this tutorial, you'll have a clear understanding of how pipe networks are comprised and how to modify them yourself, enabling you to create efficient and accurate civil engineering designs. So without further ado, let's get started. On screen, you can see I have a sample file opened up in CAD called Pipe Networks Parts List, which we will be using to showcase the abilities of pipe networks. So let's discuss, when would a user use a pipe network? A pipe network is typically used for storm and sewer systems, those gravity-based ones, as opposed to pressurized systems, which are typically for water. So assuming that you are designing a storm or sewer, let's take a look at an example that we have over here. If we expand out, we have the following network. If we select it, we can see on screen, it's shown over here. But at the beginning of the design, there's a crucial step before a user starts modeling their network, and that is to look at the home ribbon, to expand out Create Design, and to check that the network that they're using is building off of the proper network catalog. If we take a look under the Create Design panel, and just pin it for now, and we hover over it, the description that the help file gives us is that this is the pathway in which the software is pulling your pipes and structure catalog. So if I take a look, I can see that it's pathing right now to my C user drive. If I expand out, you can see that it has the various different metric pipes and imperial pipes. Depending on my region, I would use a different measuring system. In this case, I'm US based, so I'll be using imperial. If I expand out, let's say structures, you can see I have these different classifications, which we'll shortly see correspond to part families. So I click cancel. And these drop downs just correspond to those same folders that we just saw a second ago. So I'll keep the defaults. Click cancel. So making sure that I have the network catalog set properly is crucial. If, let's say, I'm on a shared project, I might instead of having it based to my C drive, my local one, I might have it instead referencing a shared drive location. That way, all members of the team can access the same parts list catalog. Let's take a look now at this network. If I go to Edit Network, I can get my network layout tools. And from here, I'll just use my panorama for now to take a quick bird's eye view of what I have. In this case, if I look at my pipes over here, and I expand out the description, we can see I have a bunch of 18-inch pipes. If I go to following along the dialog, if I expand out my concrete pipes, and I can see I have a 12 and an 18-inch option for pipes. So a typical example is, let's say I realize during my design, hey, I actually need to upscale my storm system to have a 36-inch concrete pipe instead. So how would I go about updating that? Well, for that, I need to access the parts list. And the beautiful thing about this icon is that it's a pipe, and as you can see, it has a little list. So if I click on this little icon, I have an option to modify or select a different parts list. In this case, I have the standard. But let's show other ways of accessing it. So I have that option right there. If I go to network properties as well, hey, look at that. There it is again. The same dialog. I can go ahead and I can do drop down and select a different one. Let's just show a third one for fun. If I go to settings and I expand out pipe network parts list, boom, I have all three. In this case, once I'm here, let me just do add a new parts list. So create a new one. Let's just do a sample one for now. And let's just call it sewer. Amazing. So now I have a new option. Now if I go back to my network layout tools, we can see that new option populates over here as well. In this case, let's take a look at adding in new families, new sizes. So let's take a look at our drop-down menu where we have an option to create new, which we just did also from settings. copy current selection, or edit current. In this case, I'll do the edit or modify. Taking a look at this pop-up dialog, we have a lot of valuable information. We have information about who designed it, when it was modified. We have the pipes that are in, the structure options, and what I like a lot, which is a summary, which gives you a bird's eye view of what's available in this parts list basing off of the catalog. So in this case, I could see I have 8 pipes and 11 structures. So let's jump into, let's say, structures. And I'm looking down this list and I realize, hey, I'm also missing a head wall. So if I take a look, I don't see any of these. None of these have a head wall description. So let's see if I can find it in a different part family that's not yet showing. So I'll right click, I go to add part family. Now I'm in this part catalog, which is again referencing our C drive. And I scroll down, I look for the one that matches the description, and I see, hey, this is what I was looking for, concrete rectangular head wall. It shows me a nice image as well to visualize it. Let's say I realize I need something that's instead of winged one, I could switch it to this one instead. I'll just keep the basic one for now and click OK. So now I've added that new part family to my list. But notice how it does not have that little plus icon that the rest of them do. That's because there's right now no sizes that are assigned to it. So in order to fix that, I right click, I go to add part size, and from there, I get another dialog called the part size creator. From here, if we take a quick look at it, grayed out regions are set and fixed properties of the part, while the white regions are those in which we can customize and modify. So in this case, let's say I want the head wall to be a different size. I could choose from any of the options that are right now in the drop-down menu. Notice how even as I change from 44, let's say to 105, the 37 remains the same. And that is because the source in which this part is being created is being sourced from a list. A list allows us to mix and match options from our drop-down menus. Let's say I want to add a bulk, a massive amount at the same time. Let's say I want all these options, but I want my height to remain the same in all those options. So in this case, I would just select this one option, and now that means that I'm adding all these different pipe size options, so all those shown, keeping the height the same, click OK. And just like that, I have now added all those new options. From here as well, I can modify the style and customize rules and layers and renders and so on. But remember before how we wanted to add a new concrete size? Let's take a look now at pipes. Let's expand out our concrete pipe. And over here we see, hey, I have 12 and 18, which I had in my dropdown. So I would right click, I would do add part size. And here again, we have those white regions which we can modify and the gray that we cannot. But watch closely. Right now, the wall thickness is 2, and I want to modify the inner diameter to have a larger size. So let's say I want a 36 inch. Notice how the wall thickness jumped to 4. That's because the source in which these values are being populated is based upon a table as opposed to a list. A table is, think of it as a row based. Those rows have corresponding matching values, thereby limiting it only to one singular value for each. And this makes sense, given that a 72 inch should probably have a bigger wall thickness than that of a smaller 15 inch. So if I jump back down, I add a 36 and I click OK. One thing of note is when adding part sizes, these modifications that we do are only for future modeling. They're not going to affect the model that's already been done. And let's showcase that. So I have 18-inch currently options in my model. Let's say I were to go ahead and I delete that as well. Delete the 18-inch and add the 36, and I'll click OK. I'll click OK. Those 18 inches are still available in my model, and they're still as shown. But now in my dropdown, I no longer have an 18-inch as an option. So again, it's just modifying the future ability for you to change out parts in your parts list. Lastly, best practice, let's go to this new parts list that I made before, sewer, and I do edit. So if we look over here, it has nothing right now populated in structures. There are nothing besides fun null structure in each of these. Best practice is when adding a part family, let's say I go back and I want just a concrete pipe, and there's nothing here. So I have options, as we saw before, to either add a single value or all values. Let's say I were to add all values. You can see just how many options populate. So typically, best practice in order to keep your model files running smooth and dandy is to just choose selected options that you need as opposed to choosing all the options. That way, your models will run nice and smooth.